I would like to add that he is 78 years old and he has never been to prison. The facts of this case are kind of unusual and different than your typical failure to comply. Mr. Williams was not driving above the speed limit. He was driving below the speed limit, but not by much. But he was pulled over, they attempted to pull him over in a traffic stop.
25 CR 42650, State of Ohio versus Donald Williams. Mr. Williams is present with his attorney, John Ashide. It is represented by Brian Goodyear. We're here for sentencing. Is there a statement from the State of Ohio?
Your Honor, I know you've had a chance to review the pre-sentence investigation. It looks like Mr. Williams has some criminal history. It seems like the things he's dealt with have related to alcohol abuse. Twice he was a fugitive from justice from other states, which is kind of odd. But, the facts of this situation, Mr. Williams would not stop for the police. He did not travel at high speeds, but did create a risk to the public on a number of occasions with the way that he was driving. Obviously, Judge, you're aware that on these cases we request a 2-year prison sentence, so we would ask the court to impose a 24-month sentence on the defendant. Also, Judge, in addition to that, obviously he faces a 3 years to life suspension, and I think that I would ask the court to consider a substantial suspension in this case because, again, I understand he wasn't driving a high rate of speed, but I think he's a danger.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Shai, anything on behalf of Mr. Williams?
I would like to add that he is 78 years old and he has never been to prison. The facts of this case are kind of unusual and different than your typical failure to comply. Mr. Williams was not driving above the speed limit. He was driving below the speed limit, but not by much. But he was pulled over, they attempted to pull him over in a traffic stop. He describes that he was having some kind of a mental break at the time, which is why we did request a competence and NGRI evaluation, which came back that he was competent and not NGRI. He does need some mental health treatment. He has been diagnosed with PTSD, major depressive disorder, and I believe lately bipolar also. He has been going to treatment at the VA in Colorado where he does reside. And as far as his alcohol abuse in his past, it is in remission. So we would ask that the court consider all of these things and give him a sentence of community control so that he can continue with his treatment. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Williams, is there anything you'd like to say, sir?
Yes, sir. All things considered, I have to say, by the letter of the law, which I read, I did allude, obviously. I was having what you call, by one mental health professional I talked to while I was in custody the first time, what she described is a panic attack, a grand mal panic attack. Okay, grand mal meaning very bad. Okay, like a grand mal seizure, but mine was a panic attack.
Yeah, I was in Mason Court. I just got to. There's an attorney here who has been in this courtroom this morning, and he was in Mason Court one time, and he referred to it as a grandmother seizure.
Oh, no.
Well, I think grandmothers do have seizures, Judge.
No.
All right. Go ahead, sir. You had a grand mal.
Grandmother. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Grand mal, it's a Latin term meaning, The whole thing was, I knew I was going to pull over. He followed me 3.5 miles down the road, and I went into a panic attack because it was a highway patrolman, and I had no idea. I had no warrants or anything like that. And being a healthcare professional, had a little bit of insight into this later, unfortunately not at the time. So I was looking for where to park. The fact that I thought, well, something horrible because of the attack, that it was all over. In other words, I never once considered that it was just something you better pull over for. I wonder what it's about. That's what a normal person would have done. That's what I've done. I've been pulled over several times in my life, always pulled over and said what was going on. But that day it hit me. When I had with what's the doctor, Englerwood, she diagnosed it as, she said, you knew what you were doing, but you were having what it's called a attack, but it was more from bipolar. I never knew what bipolar meant. I just thought I was having for the last 8 or 9 months some mild depression. And I've been in sobriety for 8.5 years this run, 20.5 at one point, and in the last 3 years I've been what you call a peer counselor, working with other people in the lab that I was working at, collecting urines for probation out in Colorado, 2 different places. So in my peer counseling, I've not had any trouble with alcohol at all. I'm, routinely in life ring and AA for myself. So it was the depression that hit, and then with our past was that even though you knew what you were doing, you had you're bipolar. And what I had out there, according to her, was a bipolar incident. Okay, the same thing, maybe like a seizure. Now, your healthcare department here at the jail gave me 2 handouts. One was from the World Health Organization and the other from the Mayo Clinic. And I qualified on about 7/8 of the different, what you call the symptoms of it, including on this one. That's where the term bipolar incident came from on there. Okay. The other thing that I'm really concerned about, I want you to understand, is I believe I had a second one later on, because when I got to the place I was out to be, on probation the first time, it was just so filthy. You've never seen anything like it. I won't describe it. I did to the attorney here. And the person was living there, which I had no idea who this was. It was a friend of mine, the only person I know in Ohio. I'm a resident of Colorado since 1989. And he put me up there. It was in a place called Forest Park. It might as well have been Asbury Park. Way over in a high crime area in Hamilton County. And I thought I was going to be right up at his place in Franklin. Well, I didn't mind that too bad, except the place being so filthy, you couldn't even breathe in there, and I couldn't go out. And this guy was a marijuana smoker, and if I would have picked up a secondary smoke, that would have just made it even worse. So, unfortunately, instead of calling there, I called her, couldn't get in touch with her, so I just did something stupid to come back. And so they'd be picked up, and it was a very bad judgment, and I think that it had something to do with the bipolar thing, panicking, kind of like a panic attack. But I'm not a doctor, I'm only a lab tech, so I can't go for sure, and a peer counselor. But above all of this, I have to take responsibility for what happened the whole time, making some very bad judgments. When I called them the first time, they said, we'll give you, I said, I couldn't find a court date on here. They said, well, they'll call you or they'll mail it to you. Well, the patrolman apparently took down my wrong address. It's right there on my ID, and it said, where I live in Colorado, okay? But somehow it wound up going to a place. He asked me, do you know anybody here? And I said, yes. He wanted me to call him. But somehow he got the address, which I gave him. And I said, that's the person, bang, she called, that I knew. And that's where and a letter I found out did go there from your sheriff's department when I called him from Colorado.
How is that relevant to what you need me to know about your sentence?
I just wanted to give you a background on everything that happened and why it happened. That's all. Just,
Okay, I mean, that's getting pretty detailed.
Yes. Okay, well, I'm done then, in that case. The only other thing you need to know is I can get really good treatment on probation in Colorado. They're very garnered to probation, to treatment. Okay, garnered to treatment is what I'm trying to say. And I've been a resident there since '89, same house for a year. Everything I own is there, except the clothes on my back when I came back. Okay, and VA out there, the regional, Rocky Mountain Regional has excellent programs. I went through an alcohol program there. It was tremendous. It was one-on-one with a psychiatrist, psychologist, group therapy. And they do the same thing for depression and bipolar. Okay, so I could be doing both treatments at the same time, the probation and there. That'll get me through this. It's 78, I only got a few more years left, and I'd like to be mentally free.
Is that it?
I think so.
Okay, thank you.
And I have a job out there too, and which I still do.
Okay, what will you be doing?
It's with an agency that probably will be putting me in a medical setting, like a urgent care or something, you know, or maybe a per diem medical lab tech job.
Okay.
Phlebotomist. I'm certified on all three. And I have 33 years experience in the field.
Okay,
And in the Army, I was 3 years in the Army, and that's where I got my education at too. I got an associate degree, and I also, you know, was a med tech there as well, overseas and in the United States.
all right. I find that Mr. Williams is amenable to community control. Give him credit for serving 136 days. Place him on community control. He's also ordered to see a psychiatric provider to evaluate the need for medications to address his mental health symptoms, since he's previously been prescribed mental health medication. We'll try to transfer your supervision back to Colorado if they accept you as a resident. And you've got a good argument for that. You came here, you stayed in a hotel, you didn't have a permanent residence here, you did have one there.
Yes.
We'll do our best on that.
Okay.
Your license is suspended for 7 years.
I'm never going to drive again.
Okay,
It's 78. I'm too scared that something like that might happen again. The trouble to go to get another license, it's just not worth it, they expect. We got public transportation out there. I can do that.
you figured that out a little too late, but it's
Yes, I
glad you
did.
did.
Yeah.
If we can't get you back to Colorado and you have to stay here, I'm recommending that you participate in Veterans Court. That's a good thing because there's a lot of young guys who are also there and they could use a mentor, for lack of a better word. So I think you'd like that.
Well, I would, because when I was, it was a, Life Ring is one of my go-to, like AA, for recovery, okay?
Yeah.
And I met some younger VAs guys in there. We got together as a little group thing. And that one of the guys who was what they call a facilitator of the group, he recommended me to do that because I'm a Vietnam vet, and these younger guys were from the Gulf War and a little after, and they were having real big substance abuse problems.
Okay.
And PTSD.
I appreciate your service. I served in the Army myself during Vietnam War,
Yeah, me too.
not in it. But you'll have plenty of time to discuss that with them once you get to
Oh, sure.
Veterans Court.
I just wanted to let you know I did that.
Sure, I appreciate it. Ms. Shai, is there anything I need to address I haven't addressed?
No, Your Honor.
My health. Cancer.
Well, I think that's in my report.
Did you have any questions, sir?
Well, just that, you know, one of the advantages of going to the Rocky Mountain Regional is I have I got some hearing, obviously, you can see, and some macular degeneration and, what do you call it, cataracts on my eyes, so I can get that done as well there, too. But the other thing, too, is I need a biopsy on my back. I was a prognosis from the doctor in Douglas County when I was in jail there. She thinks it might be melanoma because it's bleeding. It's got.
Can't you go to the VA hospital?
Yes, I tried to, and that's glad you said that because here's what it was: you have to out there, like any VA hospital, you have to get an outside provider to go first, and then go back there. It's a lot of red tape. Fortunately, while I was in custody here, Paige Lawton, the representative from
I know Paige.
Do you?
Yeah.
Well, Paige cut me all through all that red tape.
Good.
And that way, when I go back, I can just go right in and just make an appointment and go and get the biopsy.
And if you don't go back to Colorado, then you can do it here.
Yes.
And Paige will help you through that process.
Yeah, but he did so much in just an hour. Would
Yeah,
have
he's
taken
good.
me by my own
He's
forever.
also the vet court, he's assigned to vet court, so this is gonna work out for you. Okay,
Yeah. I just would like to go home if I hope I can.
well, if they will take you, we'll be glad to send you.
Okay, great.
Okay.
And by the way, can I ask something else?
Yes, sir.
I talk extemporaneously. I'm sorry if it's held up the court. How would I go back? I can afford to have my own, to pay my own way back and everything. I mean, how would I go back to Colorado from here?
You could fly or take a train or,
Yeah, that's how I would go, flying.
Okay.
All right. And then have a report date to be there at Colorado.
well, your probation officer will explain that to you.
Oh, okay.
They're gonna have to find out if they'll accept you.
Sure.
Okay. That's all.
I hope so.
Good luck.